Hey everyone, what's up? In this video, I'm going to tell you why I think you should play the Metal Slug series, just like the title says. My goal with these why you should play videos is to, just like I did with the last one about Fallout 1 and 2, I want to talk about the games or a game series and try to convince you to play them or go back to them. These are not reviews. I'm not going extremely in depth. I want to do these videos in 10 minutes or less and, give you a good amount of information, but not like a review. Just talking about it in general, game or game series. And like I said before, try to get you to play them or go back to them. I wanted to review each Metal Slug game individually or as many as I possibly can. But even though I played most of the Metal Slug games, I have such a backlog of games that I have to review, and games that I promised to review months ago that I still have to get to. So Metal Slug, as far as reviewing the games, are going to have to get put on the back burner. Maybe I'll make a Metal Slug month where I just review Metal Slug games, but that's going to be in the future. So, why you should play the Metal Slug games. Let's talk about it. The Metal Slug series is about running and gunning, platforming and shooting, and it does it right. There's a reason why this series is still going strong after almost 20 years and it still gets new releases, because it's fucking addicting. There's something about this game that just wants to make me play as many of the games in the series as I possibly can. It's fun, it's frantic, there's a certain rush that you get playing this game. You get a shot of adrenaline, there's so much stuff going on the screen. It's just pure action, and that's what Metal Slug is about. Action and fucking shit up, and I love it. The Metal Slug series is easy to pick up and play. Just press start and you're ready to go. What separates the Metal Slug series from other games like this is a sense of humor and the crazy situations they put you in, the unique situations. Let me give you an example. At the end of one of the levels in Metal Slug 3, you run into gigantic fucking aliens that spin around and shoot stuff at you. I mean, after you go through the whole level killing regular soldiers and fucking zombies that I mentioned before, that you fight zombies in that fucking level, after you go through all of that, you run into gigantic fucking aliens that shoot stuff at you. That's what keeps it unique, that it doesn't take itself too seriously, and that it's funny, it's comical, and it's fresh. Even after a whole bunch of games and almost 20 years later, I still find myself going back to the Metal Slug games and still having fun. One of the things that keeps me going back to the Metal Slug series is its sense of humor. In my opinion, it's hilarious. Looking at the animations of the soldiers when they die, it's over dramatic. They scream loud as hell, and it's just funny. And later on in the series, your character can become fat. Yes, your character, if it eats too much, will become fat, and it just runs around. It's very slow. The bullets are bigger, and it's just funny watching him with a pot belly just trying to run around and killing all of these fucking soldiers and bosses and whatever. It's just funny. And when you press the down button, the character does a little split, and just watching that character fucking split and try killing things, it's funny. The game doesn't take itself too seriously. It's crazy, and I really enjoy the Metal Slug series. Now, some of you might be asking, why should I play this game? And what keeps it from becoming stale? What keeps it fresh? There's been a good amount of games released in the series, and it's almost 20 years old. So what keeps me coming back? I really like the fact that the gameplay in the Metal Slug series hasn't changed that much. It wasn't drastically changed into something completely different, and I appreciate that. You don't need to do that with every series. For Metal Slug, it works. It's fun. It's frantic. There's a lot of chaos going on, and it gives me that feeling that I'm in an arcade, even though if I'm playing at home or on an emulator or anything like that. I like that feeling when I play the Metal Slug games. It doesn't have to be anything drastically different, and I'm glad that they never went that route. But just because it never really changed that much, they still put stuff in it to keep it fresh. It's not the same game every time, whether it's new weapons, new vehicles, or the fact that you can dual wield weapons or become fat, levels having multiple routes, turn into a mummy or anything like that. They've always added enough to keep it fresh, and I always keep coming back and playing the game, so for me, it's doing something right. Another thing that I like about the Metal Slug series is its art direction and level design. Whether you're in a temple fighting mummies, you're fighting zombies at night, you're on the back of a truck shooting at jets, you're in the jungle, there's enough variety in the level design for it to be a new experience every time you play a different Metal Slug game. One important thing that I have to mention is that the games are short. You can beat a Metal Slug game in about an hour, maybe a little bit more or a little bit less, but I'm going to say the average is an hour, and I think that's a good thing. Even though I wish the games were a little bit longer, I still think that's a good length for the Metal Slug games for what it is. I've never gotten that feeling of being burnt out or feeling that the game dragged on too much after playing a Metal Slug game. I think that's the perfect length, and I think they shouldn't change it. And it also helps keeps it fresh. It's short, sweet, but it's a hell of a lot of fun while you're playing it, and it has a good difficulty, at least in my opinion, so there's a bit of a challenge there too. So, why should you play the Metal Slug games? Well, it's fun. That's the most important part. It's one of those games where you don't have to take hours and hours out of your day in order to get into the game. As soon as you press start, you're thrown right into the middle of the chaos. I get that feeling of being in an arcade even though I'm in front of my computer or my TV. I would recommend this series to anyone that wants a good run and gun game. They want that arcade experience without being in an arcade. They just want to kill a lot of things. They want to cause a lot of chaos and do a lot of crazy shit. Then Metal Slug is the series for you. I definitely recommend it. It's one of my favorite series ever. So definitely check it out if any of this interests you. And thank you for watching another video. You can keep up with me on Twitter, leave a comment, or whatever. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.